Okay, just came out the front door of the house and we're on our covered porch. And we're going to do this clockwise as far as taking a tour of the property and looking at the garden and everything. And I'm going to make this as quick as I can because I don't want to make the video that big. But over here we have a hydroponic system, and hopefully you can hear me over the air conditioning system. And we just mainly have leafy greens in there. I'll walk over and show you, but back in this corner I have a couple of things in bubbler buckets. They're cherry tomato plants, and I've just got a piece of wire, concrete mesh type wire to use as a trellis. I'll walk up and show you. You can see some of the tomatoes coming on there already. But those are what's called bubbler buckets. All this stuff is hydroponics. You just mix up the formula and run it through there. Okay, we're going to walk over to one of my garden areas. This was here when we got here. There's a black raspberry bush over in there somewhere. Everything else is like roses and different other types of plants. Over here is what I put in. So I got 4 rows of Kentucky pole beans. And I don't have the entire rows planted yet, but it's coming along. Some of them have grown up pretty good already. I don't have these 2 rows here fully planted. I'll walk up here and show you what's up here. You get the other side. Okay, that's a black-eyed pea, and those are purple hull peas. And I've already got plants that I started the seeds and stuff, but they're not ready to put in the ground yet. And that should complete this entire row. So we'll have plenty of black-eyed peas and purple hull peas. This is our cucumber row. On this side we have some heirloom cucumbers. Those are slicers. Over here we have pickling cucumbers. There's actually a couple of slicers in this row too. We probably won't get that many pickling cucumbers this year. We've got a few tomato plants in this row. I think they're mostly beefsteak. I took them out of the main tomato plant area because they weren't doing real good, and me and Nate, we transplanted them over here and really kind of gave them some extra garden soil, and they seem to be coming back to life. So we'll see what they do, if they produce anything. Over here is a few pumpkin plants. Again, like I say, this sun's pretty brutal out here today. We did put a new pepper plant in there today. That is a Carolina Reaper pepper plant. Nate requested that one specifically, and today's the first day I saw them out, so I got one. But the Carolina Reaper, some people say that is the hottest type of pepper on the planet. So I'm not eating it. Nate can handle it. Like I say, there's the other 2 pumpkin plants. They're a lot smaller. All right, like I say, we're going to keep this clockwise around the property. We'll walk over here to our tomato plant area. As you can see, I got Old Glory on a flagpole right there in front of my house. And I put the tomatoes around it. By the way, my tomato cages were all made out of that same concrete reinforcement wire. I wasn't buying any of the cheap tomato cages at Lowe's or somewhere else. There's all kinds of different varieties of tomatoes in here, mainly beefsteak, but I've got some Romas and a Rutgers tomato in here somewhere. We've got it all tagged, so we know what it is. We've got two that aren't doing well. We replanted them. That one hasn't changed. The other one that we did right there looks a lot better. But other than that, you can see that looks great. That one looks great right there. And most everything else looks pretty good too. Alright, so we'll transition over here to across the driveway. This is one of our apple trees. And you can see some of the apples. They're still small. So probably about August or September. I'm not sure when apple harvest time is, but they should be ready about that time. There's the other apple tree. The other two apple trees that we have are back over in that direction. So I'm not going to walk all the way over there. Now this is our grapevine that we've got. You can see the grapes coming on. I think the birds have been hitting those early already too. But right in there is a good look at it. Like I say, I think we're going to expand that one out a little bit too. Alright, so we're going to walk over. I'll show you the cherry tree. Like I said, me and Nate harvested some cherries already. I think the birds have been into it. Oh, there's one that's left over. You can see it there. So that one's obviously not ready to pick. I'll give you the wide view. This area over here, you can see the two trash bags floating there. From that end over to that end, that's all blueberries. Walk over and I'll show you. See, and they're coming on just fine. Over here is mainly where we have pepper plants. They haven't grown all that much, where we've, it just recently warmed up. And the peppers will typically take off when it gets warm, really warm. We do have an additional tomato plant over there. That is a black cherry tomato plant. It was accidentally broken off by the kids. Nate and some of his buddies were here, were playing around and ended up breaking it. But we've got some okra up there and some eggplant. I don't know how well that's going to do, to be honest. But now all the pepper plants and stuff, we did have a rabbit problem, which I think I got solved. I mean, there's everything from hot banana, sweet banana, habanero, cayenne, poblano, cubanelles, serranos, you name it. We've got all kinds of different peppers in here. All right. Oh yeah, it's my barn. And that's the tree house. It's on the property. And then there's the chickens. And that is the coop and the chicken run that me and Nate built. As you can see, our ladies are pretty well taking it easy. We just put a fresh layer of wood chips down in there for them. We've got 10 of the chickens. Now, me and Nate went back into that wooded area back in there when we first moved in, and we drug out a bunch of deadfall, and we just made us a raised bed and threw it together. Nothing fancy, obviously. Built this TP trellis here, and this is where we have our zucchini and squash. As you can see, we got one zucchini plant that's just going wild, and those other ones, that's zucchini there, those two plants. And that is squash over on the far side. I think they're sort of waterlogged. Probably should have done better like mounds for it. Lesson learned. We'll do it and see how it goes next year. That's why this one's on the upper end. If you could tell from the video, this is a little bit sloped, and this is the high end, so the water drains off of it better. Over here we got a little asparagus patch. This is my back deck between the house and the garage, and we've got some plants going down through there. The broccoli didn't turn out too good. The spinach didn't do very well. I've never had much success with the spinach, but do have some cabbage plants. They never really got that big. Oh, but my cauliflower did pretty good. If you can see down in there, I got cauliflower coming up. Looks great. And my kale plants did really good. We'll be harvesting some of this kale pretty soon. Oh, and those other things there are leeks. I know they're not common, but it's basically like a green onion, except they're milder. They have a pretty good taste to them. And these are regular, I think, yellow onions that we have in the ground here. This is part of my back deck as well. It's all my cow peas. The black-eyed peas and purple hull peas over there in the pots and stuff that we seeded all that stuff in. So I should be ready to plant those next week. All right, we're going to go down this way so you can see our fire pit area. So we got all our swinging benches and stuff, and a couple of picnic tables that are really older, probably need replaced. But in addition to that, right beside the fire pit, we have a horseshoe pit. I need to come out here and pull some of the weeds out. I haven't been out here in a while, but me and Nate occasionally come out here and pitch horseshoes. And then we've got a bunch of different pathways and stuff back in this wooded area, because this goes back down in here a ways. You can probably see the neighbor's house back through the woods over that way. But we're just going to follow this one trail here. I can actually get my truck back down in here to a certain point. Now see, back over in here, this is a humongous blackberry patch, and it's wild blackberries. Typically blackberries that are sweeter, they don't have the thorns and stuff on them, but these are wild blackberries, and they got thorns. See, they're actually starting to turn color a little bit too, so shouldn't be too long before I mean, look here at this branch. This thing's loaded down. I mean, they're all back through here and down this trail here, going all the way back down towards where it turns and follows the fence line back towards the barn. So I actually need to get in there and clear some of it out to make some pathways and stuff. But so we're not going to walk the trail back down in there. Like I say, it's nothing but blackberries and just other trees and bushes and briars and stuff. So we'll walk it back up here. And we're walking along my fence line on the western part of the property, walking north. That'll give you an idea of how that part's cleared out. And we're back over here to the fenced area, and where the beans were, and my cowpeas and cucumbers. One other area I need to show you. This is a garden bed right up in the front part here. I put radishes in here. They did okay. Like I say, just not the right soil conditions for something like that. But anyway, that's pretty much the tour. And out here at the Wagner Homestead. So hope you guys enjoy the little tour. Oh yeah. In case you were wondering, we've got wood chip piles that tree cutting companies have been dumping off for us. All that stuff is used for mulch and, you know, just conditioning the soil. It's going to take a couple of years to get everything where it needs to be, but the wood chips definitely help. A lot of clay, and the soil is acidic. So again, hope you enjoyed the tour. Talk to you guys later.